Welcome to episode 20 of the Career Breakthrough Series. I'm your host, Paul Ames, and if you're loving the content and the guests that we're getting on the show, I'd love you to hit the subscribe button at the bottom right of the screen now. On today's show, I've got the incredible Samantha Riley. Samantha Riley is the author of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Heart of Entrepreneurship. She made her first million in her first business in her 20s and has since built several successful businesses over the decades. She is also the founder of the Accelerant Group and the creator of the Brand Builder Formula. Today, Sam likes to help coaches and consultants position themselves as the authority in their niche so that they can leverage the growth of their business. I can't wait to share Samantha's interview with you, so let's get started, guys. Guys, welcome to episode 20 of the Career Breakthrough Series. I'm your host, Paul Ames. On the show today, I've got an amazing guest, Samantha Riley. Samantha is in Australia like me, and we might be experiencing some problems with the internet, so hopefully everything runs really, really smooth for us today. Samantha, thank you for coming to the show. I'd just love to introduce you to my audience. So Samantha is an Amazon best-selling author with her best-selling book, The Heart of Entrepreneurship. She's also the founder of the Accelerant Group and the creator of the Brand Building Formula. Samantha has built many, I think it's several businesses, is that correct?
7.
Yep, 7 businesses. And so she's been an entrepreneur and a business owner for a long time. She's got a wealth of knowledge to be able to share with you guys today. It's really going to help you move from that career into a business. Even though I like to help everyone with their careers and finding something they love, I also like to share some of the amazing knowledge that Sam's got. It's going to help you get into that business. Sam, thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show. I loved our chat last time, and I'm so excited to be able to share your knowledge with my audience.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me, Paul. And you're right, we did have such a good conversation last time, so it'll be interesting to see what comes out today.
Definitely. So, Sam, if you could just give my audience a bit of a background and basically who you are and what your upbringing was like and what some of your biggest influences were for you growing up.
Oh, wow. That's a huge question, isn't it? Wow. Okay. So I actually was a high school dropout. I left school in the middle of year 11 it wasn't even planned. Seriously, I was in the middle of a business maths class and I hadn't even woken up that morning thinking, I'm going to leave school. I just was in the middle of this class and just I had this moment of, what is this all about? This is actually boring me to tears. I think that there's way more interesting things to do in life. Definitely. So I just pretty much in the middle of this class packed up and walked out, which was so against the way that I was. I was that teacher's pet kind of kid at school. So I don't know what got into me, but obviously my inner rebel came out in that moment. And nice. I had 2 jobs when I left school. So one of them was working in my local McDonald's store, which was also one of my greatest influences because the manager the owner of our store actually had 4 stores.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people hated him because they thought that, he was ruthless and everything else, where I saw it through a different lens and went, wow, this guy knows some stuff. I really respected him. I looked up to him. And in actual fact, if he was ever in the store, I'd go sit down and talk with him and ask him lots of questions about how he'd got to where he was. And, and he absolutely loved to sit down, I guess, with a teenager that was willing to listen. So he was probably my very first business influence. And he taught me about networks and the importance of, your network. And he got me my second job, which was during the day. I worked in a real estate office. So that's what I did within 48 hours of leaving school. So
wow.
He's like, he said to me, what are you doing here? It's the middle of a school day. He was at the store. And I said, just left school. It's boring. He's like, do you want a job? I went, yep. He's like, what do you want to do? I said, I don't know, maybe work in an office. And I kid you not, he just leaned over, picked up the phone. First phone call, he's like, hey, so-and-so, I've got this young girl here and she's really driven and really amazing. If you've got any openings, he said, yeah, can you start tomorrow? And
wow.
So he was a massive influence in my life and I learned a lot through what he taught me and stayed in that real estate industry for maybe 2.5 years and worked for our local council. And it was at that time that I went, no, I've got to go out and do things on my own because I took a look around the office one day and just went, wow, everyone's been here their whole life. No one's smiling. Everyone's kind of walking around like this. And I used to get in trouble for doing too much work. So I went, nah, I'm the creator of my own destiny. So, that's when I went into my first business at 20.
Wow, that's awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that, Sam. And I bet it would have been a real shell shock to that guy as well. He's probably not used to having teenagers working in his store that are very motivated or driven for much more than just getting a bit of pocket money on the side. So, I think,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's incredible. And especially, like you said, I think networks are such a powerful thing. And I know you and I share quite similar sort of networks. And that's probably been the biggest thing that I've found has really helped me, or really assisted you moving forward in your career and your business as well. So, that's
and also
powerful.
the understanding that people love to help.
Exactly.
A lot of people are too scared to ask for help, where in actual fact, if you reach out and ask questions, the majority of the time people are really thankful and almost, they love being asked to help. So
exactly. So true.
Yeah.
So, Sam, I know you've had quite an extensive business journey, but what would you say would be some of the biggest mental roadblocks or some of the biggest obstacles that you've had to experience in your business, and how have you worked through them?
So there's been a couple, and obviously over a 24-year background, the very first roadblock when we first started out was cash flow. That was a massive roadblock.
Definitely.
But cash flow is actually really quite easy to get over if you get out there and sell. So, that one was sort of done and dusted, and we got on with that. Probably the next roadblock was actually scaling. So from moving with just my husband and I, or my then husband and I in the store. So at that time we had some retail stores, to actually understanding that we had to, draw a line in the sand and go, either we're going to play this little game and just keep doing it ourselves to save money, or we're going to start employing people, which is going to be out of pocket to begin with, but that's the only way we're going to be able to grow.
Definitely.
So that time of starting to scale was a scary time, and it was a drain on the finances for probably the first, 6 to 12 months.
Okay.
But it was the best thing that we ever did, obviously, because you can't, if you're going to walk a mountain yourself, it's not a very big mountain. Yeah. So, starting off that scaling process and getting systems and procedures in the store enabled us to then purchase our second store and start to really grow the momentum of that business. So that would be the second issue, was that scale issue. And then the third one, which has actually had the biggest impact on my career, is something that I believe isn't talked about enough. And that was after I had a divorce of a 20-year marriage, I absolutely lost myself, lost all confidence. And that absolutely had me stopping in my tracks for a good 2 years. I just had no confidence to put myself out there. I couldn't make decisions. I obviously wasn't making much money. Yeah. I didn't know what my why was. I didn't know what I was meant to be doing. And losing that direction and having that fear was by far the hardest thing to get through.
Definitely.
But I got through it.
Yeah, exactly. And you should be really proud of yourself for pushing through it and all of the obstacles you've worked through. Like, as you said, cash flow is quite a big one to overcome at the start, and, to successfully keep getting money coming into your business is always a challenge. So, but absolutely. As I said, you should be really proud of yourself for everything you've overcome.
Thanks.
That's okay.
Problem solver.
Yeah, exactly. So I know, as you said, you haven't been in a career much for your whole journey, but what would you say would be some of the best career or business advice that you reckon you've ever received in your life?
Yeah, okay. So it probably relates back to that period of change where you're not happy doing what you're doing, and you want to get out and do something different, but you're not really sure what you want to do, or you might be afraid to leave a job to go do something else, because making that step can be scary, but, you're not happy where you are. So my biggest advice around that I received, it's what helped me to move forward, was to really understand what your genius zone is. So what is it that we can do, or what we do in our daily life, that is so easy for us that we almost don't even know that we're doing it, but it's valuable to someone else. Yeah. And starting to understand what that genius zone is, and using that to fuel your decision to go down that path. When you're at that time, you're like, oh, I don't know. Should I do that? Should I not do that? I'm not happy, but I'm not, just to go, this is my genius zone. Now I know exactly what path to follow, and it'll still be scary, but at least you've got that knowledge to help you to follow that path.
Definitely. And I think that's such valuable advice. That's one of the biggest things I work with my clients with their career, is actually understanding their natural abilities. So like you said, the things that come so easy to you that other people just go, oh, wow, how do you achieve that so easy? Or how does that just come to you? I think,
and
really
I think,
fun.
like sort of pulling it back as well, because sometimes it's not the original answer that's the answer. So I'll give you a little bit of a way to understand that is, I was a dance teacher for 20 years. And what I realized my genius zone was being able to break things. So like in that sense, choreography or teaching a step to a child, being able to break it down into tiny, tiny little bite-sized pizzas. Because if you've got a 6-year-old that needs to have a routine that goes for 3 minutes, they need to learn it in tiny, tiny pieces and to have it joined together. So I realized that was my genius zone. But I kept getting caught on that in that thinking my genius zone was teaching dance. But it wasn't. It was actually when I took it and went, okay, well, what is it about teaching dance that I'm good at? And then I asked my coaching clients what I was good at, and they said, it's about the way that you can break down complex thoughts into pieces that we can understand and then put it all back together. So sometimes you might need to go, okay, well, why? Keep asking yourself why. Why is that my genius zone? Why? And keep moving back to realize what the core thing is.
Definitely. That's great advice, Sam. Thanks for sharing that. Guys, go back and really have a listen to that and really take notice of what Sam said. That's, really valuable advice to help you, figure out if you're really lost and confused with your career or looking to go into a business but just don't know what. That's one of the best ways to figure out where your genius zone lies. So thanks for sharing.
Well, a pleasure.
So, Sam, I'd love to know what would be 3 to 5 actionable tips that you reckon my audience could take away that could really help them transition from that job into a business that they're really passionate about, or something that they're looking to, like you said, they're really miserable in their job. They can feel in their heart and in their soul that they're not meant to be an employee. What would be some tips that you could share?
Yeah, okay. Probably the first thing would be to actually start your business on the side. Once you decide what it is that you want to do, start it on the side, because I've actually had clients that are not happy in their job. They move over, they start their business on their side, thankfully without quitting their job, and realize far out, in actual fact, this is a grind. I really don't like it. And it's actually enabled them to go back and have appreciation for their job and be grateful for it. So don't always think that maybe that having a business is the best thing for you. So get it started on the side, because businesses always take up more money at the beginning than you think they're going to. It doesn't matter how much budget you've got, you always blow it by a ton. So, although if there's anyone listening that hasn't, reach out, I'd love to hear that story. Start your business on the side and really start to understand, what it is that has to be done, because it is quite, it is a grind. There is a lot of hours. And if people tell you can just go sip cocktails on a beach from day one, they're just straight out lying to you, right?
Exactly. It's so true. So true.
And then once you've taken that step over and you decide this is what my business is, my second tip was to be really, really, really clear on who you serve and how you serve them. Because I find that so many people can't bring the money in, and I'm so guilty of this in probably all my businesses, like at the beginning, is having a very mixed message. So it's not clear who my message is going out to, which of course then, the clients aren't coming through the door. So my second tip would be very, very clear on that message. And the third one, and this might sound really quite funny at the beginning, but again, it's something that is one of the biggest things or the biggest problems that I see is once you're getting clear on your message and you know what it is you're doing, actually have something to sell. There's so many people that put a message out there and, blah, 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 and people are coming out with their credit card, and the business owner's like, oh, I don't know what it is. And obviously that's more in a service-based industry, not a product-based industry. But there's so many people in service-based businesses that don't have a clear product. So make sure that you've got something to sell.
Yeah, that'd be quite embarrassing too. Like you said, you've got all these people or leads flowing at you ready to hand over cash, and then they're like, oh, so is there anything for us to buy or help us with our life? So not having that, to be, losing money off the table, which is not good.
And it sounds strange, but I see it all the time, and I've been guilty of it too. I can talk through experience. So yeah.
Definitely. Now, Sam, I've got a bit of a random question I ask all of my guests on my show. So coming from a career counselling background, there's a question called the miracle question. So imagine if you went to sleep tonight and overnight a miracle had occurred and you wake up the next day and everything you ever wanted in your life had come true. You could impact anyone or anything, and there were no financial burdens or roadblocks or anything stopping you. What would be the biggest thing that you'd want to create change in and impact, and what would you want to impact, and why would that be so important to you?
Wow. That isn't, first, can I say, what an awesome question. And my stepdaughter's actually just started year 12 today, her first day of year 12, and we've been going through this whole career thing with her. And I wish there was a career counsellor like you at her school.
Oh,
he hasn't been asked any amazing questions like that.
Yeah, I find it's really good because it just gets people to think, like a lot of people put those limiting beliefs in their head and they just go, oh, I can't think past that, or I can't do that. Yeah. So when you visualize having none of this stuff in place, then it opens up your mind to some pretty cool answers. So yeah,
absolutely. So there's actually one of my biggest whys in what I do is that I want people to understand that if they get rid of the boundaries that are in their mind, exactly what you're talking about, then they can create whatever it is that they want. And to stop listening to the other people saying, oh, well, you've got little kids, you can't go traveling around the world for, and work around the world for the next 2 years, or, you can't have that house on the hill with the white picket fence because you're meant to be at work and not be a stay-at-home mum, or whatever it is. I want people to understand that, to stop listening to the shoulds, because even though it's coming externally, it's still a lot of times our shoulds are coming from self-limiting beliefs that are coming internally. So I would love to really almost be able to get my message out to everyone saying, what is it that you want? And what do we need to put in place to create that? Yep. So whether it is, I don't believe that everyone should be in a business for themselves. I believe that I should be in business for myself, but for some people it's not a thing. Some people want to be, like I said, being a stay-at-home mum. That's okay. And to just think, well, what are our values? And let's live by our values and create a life around that. Yeah. So that's what I truly believe that I'm here to do, and through my business, that's what I could do. But if I could wake up tomorrow and there was no boundaries, that would be way, way, way bigger than it is at the moment.
That's awesome, and what a great answer, and what an amazing impact that would make on the world as well. And I think, that's one of the biggest things I always see with people, like, as I'm sure you do with your business, is like, so many people just have these beliefs, and they're such limiting things that hold you back, but they're not a really big thing to get over. Like, I think it's just about reflecting. And I find with a lot of people, I had a client once who had done some amazing careers and achieved amazing things and achievements and, accomplishments in her career. But she had these beliefs that she couldn't move forward into something else that was like quite a professional role. And it just took reflecting on what she'd done and realizing what the internal capabilities she had were. There was unlimited, potential in her that she realized she could move forward into it. And it was just something simple, just as that, reflecting and, going over what you'd done. So
absolutely, because you can get caught up thinking, oh my goodness, I'm too afraid to do that, or I'm not good enough to do that. And all you've got to do is, are you capable of that? 9 times out of 10, you'll be like, heck yeah, I can. Why am I telling myself that story? And it's about moving through that and asking the right questions.
Definitely. So true. Thanks for that, Sam. So Sam, I'd love to know, what you're most excited about moving forward in your business. What's some of the big things coming up for you this year that you're really, really have got you lit up inside?
Yeah. So I've just started an online program for people that want to start their businesses and they don't know what to start, or for people that have started their business and they're really caught up with, I don't know what the next step is. They're overwhelmed and they're thinking, I've got to go back to a job or whatever it is. So that's the Influence and Impact Mastermind, and that's all about people, business owners and people building businesses so that they can be more influential to go out and create a bigger impact. So that's my passion project at the moment, and my Amplify program, which is for people to build their personal brands, because I'm very big on that, because I think that when we really tap into who we are, then we can create our tribe so much more easily by just being us, and it feels so good.
So definitely does. It sure does. And guys, I'll share all of the links to Sam's programs and her Amazon best-selling book in the show notes for everyone to check out. So Sam, is there any other tips or advice that you feel like you'd really love to share with my audience that have really been big breakthroughs for you in your business that could really assist them out?
Yeah, okay, so this is probably a book that I recommend to everyone on the face of the planet. My partner actually works in corporate, and he's been having a little bit of trouble in deciding what he wants to do. So
Okay.
I'm going to flick him your show as well.
Oh, awesome.
Because I think what you're doing is amazing.
Thank you.
But this is for not just people that are struggling with their jobs or being challenged in their jobs, but it's for business owners as well. And it's a book called The 4 Agreements. Cool. And I believe that the 4 Agreements has changed the way I even live life. And the 4 Agreements are: be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and always do your best. And I think that those 4 things, when it's the tough things that are holding us back or making us upset or being fearful, when you actually go, you know what, I just need to let that go. It's not personal. It's just someone having a bad day or that person gave me that feedback, but let me think about that. Instead of being hurt by it, what can I take out of it?
Yeah.
If you're going to do something, do it. Don't just say I'm going to do it and not follow through. And I think that by living with these 4 agreements, that it can totally change our world.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. That's brilliant. I'll put the link to that in the show notes as well. That's really great advice.
Yeah.
So I'd love to touch a bit more on some of the businesses you've done as well. So when you said that you had the shops, what were the shops? What were the retail stores?
So my very first business was actually a dance studio. So I grew up as a dancer. My dreams of being a ballerina were completely put on the side because I actually wasn't good enough.
Oh.
When they say you can do anything you put your mind to, it's not true. But I wasn't a good ballerina, but I was great at teaching dance. So awesome. I had a dance studio for 18 years. Within 6 months of opening that, I realized that there was a problem with my kids being able to, or the parents finding where to get the uniforms. It was a challenge for them. So we opened up our first dancewear store that sold uniforms, and over the years that just grew bigger and bigger to the point that we pretty much sold anything for the whole theatrical industry, right down to stage makeup and fabric and all sorts of things. We opened up our second, so there's actually 3 of those stores back in Adelaide now. They're still running with the current owner. The dance studio is still running with the current owner, with the owner there, so they're still going. There was a point that I came out of, I was still dance teaching, but I started a personal training business on the side.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And I started working with adults instead of just working with kids, which I'd done for 20 years. And through my personal training, I got into the wellness industry and just sort of kept tweaking that and realizing that a lot of the clients that I was seeing in personal training were coming to me, and it was actually their mindset that was holding them back, not necessarily the exercise. So that's when I went into coaching. So it was health and wellness coaching, and from there that turned into business coaching, and it's sort of flowed a bit in the last few years to now wind up where I am, which is specifically in that personal branding space, which I love.
Wow, that's amazing. Thanks for sharing your journey. And it's funny how, things just keep unfolding. Like, it's the same with my business. Like, I started off initially working with young students because that was my biggest pain point from up until I was 30, just job hopping. And then suddenly realized there was a few issues there where, the parents would want you to work with them, but the student didn't, or, the student wanted, but the parents wouldn't pay for it. So then I've gone into the professional market, which I absolutely love, but more from the one-on-one so much just into a lot more corporate coaching, which, is something from my previous history in local government. So, it's funny how you just keep little things unfolding and, iterating what you're doing. So,
we need to listen to the marketplace because they're the ones that are giving us the feedback to what it is that they're looking for. Because really, as business owners, we're actually problem solvers. We're paid to solve people's problems. So if we don't listen to the market enough, that's when things start to come unstuck.
Definitely. I think that's such valuable advice, something so simple but so crucial is guys, go back and listen to that, what Sam said about listening to the marketplace. I think that's something where a lot of people go wrong and, don't keep adapting and tweaking and changing what they do or, making small modifications. So, I think
absolutely.
that's really valuable. So, Sam, we're just getting ready to wrap up soon. I absolutely love talking to you. And, it's incredible to share your journey and, everything you've gone through. It's an amazing story. And, as I said, I'm proud of you for what you've done. It's an amazing business. And what you're doing to help other business owners is something so badly needed. So yeah, but just getting ready to wrap up. So what would it be like the parting advice you'd love to share with my audience? Something that's really been a huge game changer for you, or something that's really impacted you in such a big way that's, something you feel like would really need to help my audience out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
To put you on the
pressure. That moment where you're like, I don't want everyone to think I'm an absolute idiot.
No.
Okay.
Most definitely not. You're awesome.
Thank you. Probably, I'm going to go with, and I'm saying this from personal experience, at that time where I was really lost and I didn't know what it was that I wanted to do. And everyone talks about finding your purpose, and for me that was like someone talking to me in Chinese. I'm like, well, where do I find this thing? Like, exactly. Everyone goes, find your purpose, and you're like, and how?
Yeah. Where do I start? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I find it, but it's a buzzword that's got no meat to it.
No.
So one day I was with a friend, and she just went, all right, well, Sam, if you were at your own funeral and you were a fly on the wall and your friends were talking about how you'd impacted them, what did they love about you? What are they proud of? What are they saying that you've accomplished? What does that look like? And the second I tapped into that is seriously the minute that everything changed.
Wow.
And I wrote out 10 things, and it was with her help. So sort of got to 6, went, oh, I don't know. And she went, no, push through, get to that 10, because, when you push through that self-limiting belief that we put there, when you get through there, that's where the gold is. And she was right, because when I went, okay, well, if there was something else, what would it be? And that was the game changer for me, is knowing, what is it that I'm actually here to do? Why am I on this planet? Because it's not just to take up oxygen. Like, as humans, we're here to make a difference.
Exactly right. I think that's so valuable, and it's such a great learning. And yeah, just how you simplified it, it's really, really great tool. So guys, another bit of gold there that Sam's just shared. Go back and get out a piece of paper and write down some of the responses you think for yourself, or, reach out to either Sam or I, and we'll be able to help you with that. So
absolutely.
As I said, Sam, thank you so much for being on the show. I've always loved connecting and having a chat with you, and look forward to many, many more chats in the future.
Absolutely.
So, Sam, where would be the best place my audience could get in contact with you, or to get on board with some of these amazing courses or resources that you've got?
Yeah, so my business is the Accelerant Group, which is all around accelerating business growth. So if you go to theaccelerantgroup.com/mastermind, that will give you all the information about the program that I was talking about before, or just connect with me on Facebook, just facebook.com/Sam Riley. And reach out. I just love to have a chat with everyone, as you and I connected and had an amazing chat.
Yeah.
I'm approachable, and I love to have a chat. So reach out and say hi.
Awesome. Well, Sam, thanks again for being on the show. And guys, stay tuned next week, where we've got another incredible business person or game changer who's going to help you move forward in your career and get to those positions you really want to get to. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks so much for tuning into today's episode. I hope you really loved my interview with Sam. If you guys really did, I'd love you to get on board with Sam's book, The Heart of Entrepreneurship. So do you ever wonder why other people can be confident and grow their business while all you feel is fear? The Heart of Entrepreneurship is based on Sam Riley's experiences and insights of life as a business owner and entrepreneur for over 20 years. This book will help you learn how to build a business that fits you like a glove and fills you with passion and purpose. How fear is showing up in your life, how it's holding you back, and what you need to do to keep growing your business. She'll also share with you the tools that enable you to make important business decisions quickly, why you need to stop being vanilla and differentiate yourself and your message you're sharing. And she'll also share how to navigate life while riding the entrepreneurial roller coaster. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to the amazing topics in here, and I'd highly recommend you get on board with Sam's book. If you are interested in getting a copy of her book, please head to the link below, which is bit.ly/Sam Riley. So bit.ly/SAMRILEY. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I can't wait to share next week's episode with you. Thanks a lot. Take care.